Hello, my friends. So you're here because you have found the job market to be immensely complicated and confusing. You've probably grown somewhat frustrated that social media post after social media post is someone talking about how it's the best time ever to get what you deserve and that finding a job has never been easier. Maybe you saw a family member post recently that they just landed a new position after they've been struggling to find one for months, maybe years. But yet you still find yourself in a position where you're struggling. I understand this because this was me about 6 years ago. I too was struggling to find a job, applying for jobs that I had no business getting, and even applying for jobs that I was perfectly fit for. But yet no one seemed to notice me. But then something really interesting happened. I ended up getting a call. And that phone call was a recruiter recruiting me to become a recruiter. And if you don't know what a recruiter does, essentially what we do as an industry is we help people find jobs and we help companies find people. And because I got this call, I ended up taking a journey that brought me here. I recruited for 6 years, working 7 days a week, taking 3 vacation days in the last 6.5 to 7 years, and have helped thousands of people find the job of their dreams. I have worked with companies across 15 plus different industries, and I have worked with companies as large as some of the top Fortune 500s, all the way down to tech startups just getting their feet below them. I've learned a lot along the way. But most importantly, I've learned the intricacies of what it takes to successfully land a job as a job seeker. And I've also learned exactly what companies are looking for on the back end. Now, I've grown incredibly frustrated and incredibly disappointed with this industry being career coaching, career consulting, helping people find a job. This industry is broken in 2 different ways. First, when you get contacted by a recruiter like myself or my team, what ends up happening is they have a bias. And their bias is to fill the job. They're getting paid by a company to fill the job. You, as the job seeker, don't owe them anything, and because of which they may manipulate you and try to convince you that you should accept a job that's probably not in your best interest. And now, the other issue I have is the resume formatting services out there, the interview prep services out there, the people putting on career consulting programs. If you go to their LinkedIn and Facebook page, which I've done for every single one of them and I've come across, and their websites, what they claim doesn't have any legitimacy. And the reason is they've never spent 20, 40,000 hours like I have dissecting the recruitment industry, reading every single post that a recruiter's posted, reading every post that a HR manager has put up, talking to hundreds, if not thousands of hiring managers and HR consultants on hiring best practices, what types of resumes companies want to see, how they want somebody to represent themselves in an interview, how you can even just get noticed in this type of job market, which is very complex. Most of these people were sales managers or sales representatives or HR personnel that worked in one side of things. And they decided that they were going to monetize trying to help other people, which is a noble cause, and I can respect. But the information they give is usually poor. I have helped dozens of people recently who had to have me reformat their resume or prepare them for an interview in a different type of way or share with them how to get noticed after buying a program from somebody else. And this frustrates me. So I decided to make my resources far more accessible by giving you access to individual trainings as opposed to working with me one-on-one. And that's what you'll see below. Now, you came to this page because you wanted to learn more about how to get noticed in a job market where you're struggling to get interviews and job offers. And so I do want to share with you some information on that so you can go away from here, whether you decide to take our course or not, and have something that you can use and hopefully even share with others. Now, there's a paradox, and this is the first thing you have to understand about the job market today and the resources that you're presently using to get noticed in the present job place. And so that paradox is that it's never been easier to submit an online application. It's never been easier to search for jobs online. But it's creating a paradox on the back end. Because it's never been easier to apply for jobs online, competition has never been more fierce. If you were applying for a local job as an accountant, for example, at a accounting firm in your hometown of, let's say, Manchester, New Hampshire, maybe you and 3 other people would see the ad in the paper and show up in person to submit a hard application. And more than likely, if you had the right qualifications, you would get interviewed right there. And you might be one of 2 people to get interviewed for a job. Now, due to the major career boards who were trying to solve a real problem, they are not the problem inherently. They were trying to solve a problem which caused another problem, which is called a paradox. And they now make it so that competition across the country, especially with remote work, will also see that accounting listing. And they will also apply. And yes, you didn't have to go anywhere in person and risk that time. But now you're left competing against them. And as it stands today, the average job listing sees from 100 to 200 applications. So if you're submitting applications in the traditional manner, you're in big trouble. Now, there's another problem too. It's also easy for the companies to list the jobs. Before, they would have to have a media buyer of some sort, get them ad space in a paper. They would have to manually put things up on Craigslist, which is clunky, or whatever the means was, depending on the time in the past. But now they have partnerships with major career boards, as I do as a recruiter. And we put jobs up, and sometimes we forget about them because we paid for a set amount of listings. We put them up, we forget about them. The jobs actually close. So a big chunk of the jobs you see online are actually closed. Now, I know you probably hear some crazy statistics. I saw a specific career guru who promoted this idea that 80% of jobs aren't actually listed online. And this is complete another fabrication, because any leadership or management position is very dangerous to not post or list both on your website or on the internet. And the reason is, if you don't give everybody the opportunity to apply for a position, you're going to cause internal strife. And you're also, depending on the state, could be subject to some legal issues. So it just doesn't make sense to believe that 80% of positions aren't listed online. Now, also, as I just mentioned, the problem isn't that there's not jobs listed online. The problem is there's too many listed online, and many of them aren't even real jobs. And so the first thing you need to understand is you need to have better, unique ways to get in front of hiring managers. You need to know how to connect with these people and get noticed in marketplaces that are receiving 200 applications per job. And the good news is those applications are a majority of unqualified people. So if you meet qualifications, you can then use the tactics that we teach to get around all those people and get the interviews. And if you're someone who is trying to switch career paths, but are finding job listings that say requires 1 to 2 years of experience, and you're asking yourself, well, where do I get the experience? Our tactics will help you get around those requirements and get conversations, because if you can get in front of the right person, you can win them on the idea of hiring you. That just requires certainty in your voice and in your heart, and a whole lot of other interview tactics, which we share in another training. But you're going to get everything you need to set yourself up for success, to get more interviews, which will then lead to more offers by purchasing the course below. It will be incredibly impactful for you in your life, but only if you do the work, only if you watch the videos, and only if you invest in yourself. This program costs less than going out to dinner with your family. If you're stuck and you're struggling to find a job, ask someone to borrow the money for this course, because it could change the trajectory of your life and career if you are open to it and allow it. And if it doesn't, I don't want your money. So if it doesn't assist you with getting more interviews, with getting more offers, and you have done the work, you can simply ask us for a refund and we will refund you. And in addition to that, you can keep everything that you learned. And you can keep the videos and the trainings. And in addition to that, just as an added incentive for wasting your time and making this a no-brainer for you, we'll give you an additional $10 that you can go get yourself a couple of coffees throughout the week or whatever you want to spend it on. Because we believe in this so much that we aren't even concerned about refunding you. We'll even give you money because we know that what we do can help you that much. No one else would do something like that in this space. They don't have the courage that they can impact you like we do. Now, I am so excited to help you out and to share with you the trainings that have worked and helped hundreds and hundreds of people get noticed. I have shared this on my social platforms and then had to remove them because it was helping too many people and that they were reaching out to me asking for one-on-one work in a time when I couldn't do it. Now, I don't believe in sharing testimonials because everybody believes that they're fabricated and false anyway. But what I can tell you is the strategies I have work, and people remind me all the time. And like I said, when I was very, very busy recruiting, I had so many people reaching out to me about the stuff that I was posting, I had to remove it. But now I'm actually sharing it with people so it can help more of you and that you can achieve massive success in your job search and career. So I hope you take me up on this. And I look forward to helping you in your career and your career projections. Take care now.